Hello and welcome to Woman Crush Winesday on a Monday, where I drink wine or a lemon drop and talk about women I like. Today is a very special day because today is the Queen's birthday. Beyoncé, first of her name, mother of Blue, Rumi, and Sir, protector of carefree black women and girls, billionaire, philanthropist, artist, creator of genres, is 36. Yes, on this day, September 4th, 1981, Tina Knowles-Lawson brought Beyoncé Giselle Knowles into the world in Houston, Texas and saved us all. When Beyoncé was young, she was actually quite shy and had few friends, besides her cousin Kelly Rowland and her sister Solange, who was born in 1986, of course. To socialize Bey in a creative venue, her parents enrolled her in dance classes, which she flourished in. Beyoncé's singing abilities were discovered in her dance classes when her instructor was humming a tune and Lil Bey just finished the song, hitting high notes with ease. At the age of 9, Beyoncé enrolled in Parker Elementary School, a music magnet school in Houston, where she joined the choir. That same year, she and Kelly Rowland met Latavia Robson at an audition for the girls group Girls Tyme. As is well known now, Girls Tyme was recruited to compete on Star Search, which at the time was the largest talent show on national television. In 1995, Matthew Knowles quit his corporate job to become the manager of his daughter's group. They went through multiple name changes and were signed and dropped by multiple labels through the next few years, but by 1997, they were signed to Columbia Records under the moniker Destiny's Child. Within the year, the group released their first album, which was self-titled and received praise from both critics and audiences alike. Destiny's Child released The Writings on the Walls in 1999, and this is the album that really skyrocketed Beyoncé, Kelly, and their rotating lineup into stardom. Not only did this album feature Say My Name and Bills, 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 but the former won the group 2 Grammys. However, this time was not quite as happy as it seemed. LaToya Tuckett and Latavia Robson, 2 of the group's founding members, became increasingly dissatisfied with Matthew Knowles' managerial style. They were replaced with Michelle Williams and Farrah Franklin, and Beyoncé was blamed for the split by the media. Beyoncé took the criticism so hard that she fell into a depression where she would hide away in her room and refuse to eat for days. She said more recently that Tina, her mother, was her biggest supporter and ally in fighting depression, and that she didn't come out and talk about her experiences while she was experiencing them because she didn't think people would take her seriously. This is why we need to destigmatize mental health. Before the next Destiny's Child single was released, Farrah Franklin was dismissed, and the group continued as Beyoncé, Kelly Rowland, and Michelle Williams. They recorded Independent Women Part 1, which was featured on the Charlie's Angels soundtrack in 2000. The same year, Beyoncé took more control of writing and producing music, and she also starred in the MTV movie Carmen, a Hip Opera. In 2001, Destiny's Child released what is probably their most popular album, Survivor. The title track, and honestly one of my favorite Destiny's Child songs, won a Grammy in 2002. Shortly after this success, the group announced a hiatus so that the members could focus on their solo careers. That year, Beyoncé co-starred in Austin Powers and Goldmember. Beyoncé is the only reason I would ever watch this movie again. 2003 was the year that she released Dangerously in Love and changed the music world for the first time as a solo artist. Crazy in Love, which featured Jay-Z, became Beyoncé's first #1 solo hit. Dangerously in Love earned Beyoncé a record-tying 5 awards at the Grammys that year. Destiny's Child released their final album, Destiny Fulfilled, in 2004 and officially disbanded in June of 2005. Here's to the end of an era. Not only is today Bey's birthday, but it is the 11th anniversary of her second solo album, BeyDay. This album features 3 of my favorite Beyoncé songs, Deja Vu, Ring the Alarm, and what is probably the best song on the album, Irreplaceable. In 2006, the Queen co-starred along with Steve Martin in The Pink Panther, and then with Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Hudson in Dreamgirls. Beyoncé spent most of 2007 touring and promoting her music, and on April 4th, 2008, she married Jay-Z in a very private ceremony in New York. They didn't even reveal that they were married until 6 months later on October 22nd at Beyoncé's release party for her 3rd solo album, I Am Sasha Fierce. The album was generally received with mixed and lukewarm reviews, but it did feature some of her biggest singles. You know, like Halo, If I Were a Boy, Diva, and I think most importantly, Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It. Later in the year, Beyoncé starred as jazz icon Etta James in Cadillac Records with Adrian Brody. She not only received critical acclaim and several award nominations for her performance, but she also donated her entire salary from the movie to the Phoenix House, which is an organization of rehab centers for heroin addicts across the country. She's queen for a reason. And And in 2009, Beyoncé graced the first couple's inaugural ball with a rendition of Etta James's At Last for the first Black President and First Lady of the United States of America, Barack and Michelle Obama. We were truly blessed because that was also the year that she played Idris Elba's wife in Obsessed, even if the movie wasn't great. At the 52nd Grammy Awards, Beyoncé broke the record she had previously tied by winning 6 awards for I Am Sasha Fierce in a single night. In 2010, Beyoncé took a short hiatus from music. She just enjoyed being newly married and traveled. Sometime between this trip and 2011, however, she suffered a miscarriage, which she has said is the saddest thing she has ever had to endure. It also later became the subject of a few of her songs. In early 2011, she separated from her father professionally, and in April, she and Jay went to Paris to do a photo shoot for her upcoming album 4. Apparently on this trip, she became unexpectedly pregnant, but didn't say anything about it until August, when at the MTV Music Video Awards she performed Love on Top, and at the end she opened her jacket and just displayed her growing belly to the world. Not only was that arguably the cutest performance ever, but it also made that year's VMAs the most watched broadcast in MTV history, pulling in 12.4 million views. Beyoncé's announcement was listed in Guinness Book of World Records for the most tweets per second recorded for a single event, garnering over 9,000 tweets per second. Beyoncé and Blue were breaking the internet before Blue was even born. Speaking of the princess's birth, Beyoncé brought Blue Ivy into the world on January 7th, 2012 in New York. In 2013, Beyoncé sang the national anthem at President Barack Obama's second inauguration, apparently to a pre-recorded track. This apparently led people to believe that Beyoncé also pre-recorded the vocal tracks and then lip-synced, even though that's not in Beyoncé's repertoire. Anyway, she went and performed at the Super Bowl that year with help from Michelle and Kelly, reuniting Destiny's Child for the first time in 8 years. That year, she also went on to win another Grammy for Love on Top. In April, she set out on the Mrs. Carter World Tour, which ran for almost 2 years and was one of the most successful world tours in history. Then, the day before my 20th birthday, Beyoncé changed the world for good. Without any promotion whatsoever, without even mentioning it on social media in any way, she dropped her self-titled album and created an entirely new genre of music just because she felt like it. She released 14 consecutive videos that all had overlapping themes but were each distinct from the others. Beyoncé the album debuted at the top of the Billboard 200 charts, earning BeyDay her 5th consecutive #1 album. That makes Beyoncé the first woman in the chart's history to accomplish that. The album changed the game, selling over 1 million digital copies in 6 days. It also earned BeyDay 3 more Grammys. We waited patiently with bated breath for Beyoncé to release something in 2014 and 2015. Mostly she was just enjoying getting to be a mother and also touring. And then on February 6, 2016, she gave the world Formation. Literally the day after the single was released, Beyoncé performed it at the Super Bowl, which caused a little bit of controversy because some of the imagery, especially in the costumes that she and her dancers wore, reflected the anniversary of the Black Panther Party. I ain't mad. 2 months later, the world stopped. Lemonade dropped. Same thing. HBO aired the film version of the album, which featured celebrities like Serena Williams, Amanda Stenberg, Zendaya, Winnie Harlow, and Quvenzhané Wallis. The album stands in part as a personal diary of sorts. It also lifts Black women up and puts them in the spotlight, especially when she features the mothers of Black men that have been killed by police brutality. It also transcends genre. Don't Hurt Yourself features Jack White of the White Stripes, and BeyDay also released and performed an alternate version of Daddy Lessons, which is already a country song, with country superstars, the Dixie Chicks. Lemonade made Beyoncé the first act in history to have 6 consecutive albums debut at the top of the Billboard charts. She's the first female in history to have 12 or more consecutive songs on the charts at the same time. She won 2 more Grammys that year, and Adele, who won Album of the Year that year, agreed with anybody that has ever listened to Lemonade and said that Beyoncé deserved it more. This brings us to February 2017, when Beyoncé posted a picture to Instagram to reveal that she was very pregnant with twins. The picture got 6 million likes in under 8 hours, breaking the world record for the most liked image on Instagram. And she performed pregnant at the Grammys just because she felt like she wanted to, I guess. Then, almost 2 months ago, Bey posted another picture to her Instagram, this time posing with the new babies. Who knows what Beyoncé is gonna do next? Beyoncé is an innovator and an entertainer and an activist, an artist and a mother, and someone that I have really wanted to talk about since I started this series a year ago. I just had to wait for her birthday to come back around because there was no way that I was going to do this at any other point in the year. She is one of, if not the most successful black women in history, and she simultaneously won't let us forget it and also uses that to lift other people up. What have we done to deserve her? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. In the comments below, let me know what your favorite thing about Beyoncé is. Don't forget to check out the poll in the cards to vote for the next Woman Crush Winesday. If you're not already subscribed to The Princess and the Scrivener, please do so down below, especially if you'd like to see more videos on Disney, intersectional feminism, pop culture critiques, Woman Crush Winesday, and more. The Scrivener will see you next week. Today is a very big day, Pascal. Ladies, leave your man at home. It's 11:30 and the clock is jumping. Melody I start but can't complete.